Julie Samola, everybody. What an awesome way to start the show. Look at all of these beautiful people. Thank you so much for coming. This is our second annual Recovery Gala, sponsored by Turning Point of Springfield Recovery Center, and we are so happy to have you here. We welcome all of you, and we have a great lineup in store. We have speeches from well-respected members of the community. We have awards to hand out, to well-deserved awards to many of our colleagues and friends, as well as allies. in our efforts to diminish stigma against substance use disorder and to assist those in need. Substance use disorder is a disease. This is what, and this is why we do the work that we do, because we know that it's treatable, and we have hope that we can diminish it so that it's not in epidemic proportions like it is today. As you know, we're losing people needlessly because this is a treatable disease. And all of you are part of that effort, whether you're part of Department of Corrections, whether you work for Department of Children and Families, whether you are law enforcement, whether you are in the recovery field itself. We need all of you. We need all of you. We need the courts. We need the entire community to help in this effort. And you're all equally important. I, for one, am a person in recovery, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that because for decades I suffered from this disease, and I was unable to participate in events like this. Right now I would be thinking about where am I going to get my next drink or drug? Where am I going to get the money for such? And that was all I thought about. That was my entire life. You know, and I broke the law to do it. And I hurt my family, and I hurt my friends, and I hurt my relationships. And now, because I'm in recovery, I'm able to celebrate events just like this with all of you and work with you and help others who are suffering from this disease. So thank you all for coming, really. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. It's so cool to be looking out in the audience and see everybody, and I know every single one of you, and I've worked with most of you. It's really a tremendous trip that this has been. Next, we have our own, who's also a person that has been affected by this disease with family, friends. She is an inspiration to me. She has come into this field and she has hit the ground running. She's a recovery coach and she's working with people who are in need, who are in early recovery or at high risk for this disease. Her name is Erica Lee, and she is going to come up here and present the next award. So Erica, come on up. How's that?
I pictured it being like too high. Good evening. I'm humbled to present this Dedicated Services Award to Sergeant Scott Moody of Heartland Police Department. He's led the way for Heartland Police Department in the adoption of the Outreach After Overdose program. He led the work that brought Second Wind Turning Point recovery coaches into the police department to work with incarcerated individuals, creating support and links to recovery services. One example of his excellence is when he followed up with Mount Scottney Hospital, advocating for an individual previously in police custody to make sure she didn't lose her housing. He's worked faithfully building trust and collaboration between police, EMS, HCRS, and recovery coaches in the work team of Hartford Outreach After Overdose. Since Sergeant Moody could not be here to accept this award, we have this short video.
There we are for Turning Point Recovery Gala. We're about to give Sergeant Moody his award. This is Erica, my colleague. And introduce your daughter.
Harper.
Say hi, everybody. All right, let's do this. Let's go inside. Come on. Right this way, folks. I'm here to see Sergeant Moody, please.
Okay, I'll run down in your ear.
Thank you. Yes, Sergeant Moody's certificate. Isn't that pretty? America has the award. Sergeant Moody, how are you? Good to see you.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
My colleague, Erica.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Congratulations. You can go ahead and present the award.
Thank you
A
so much.
well-deserved award, Sergeant Moody.
Thank you.
And we thank you for your service to not only the communities, but the surrounding communities, and to law enforcement as a whole, as being a powerful example for supporting people in recovery.
Thank you.
And there's your certificate.
Appreciate it. Thank
So
you.
if you have any truth you want to say to the community, now is the time.
I want to say thank you to whoever nominated me for this. It truly is a team effort here in Hartford. There's some community outreach members here at the agency, and then our work obviously with Turning Point and HCRS and our police social worker. And honestly, at the beginning when I was asked to take part in this program, I was a little hesitant and not sure how it was going to work, just based on interactions from being a police officer. But it's nice. It's nice to have these conversations with people, and they're like, "Hey, you helped me, and I appreciate it." And you know, it's a better image for our agency. You know, and to hear these people say, "I trust the police in Hartford, and I know that they'll help me." But it is a team effort, and we've kind of we've kind of rolled it into like an opioid outreach after an overdose, and then have included like some mental health work and gotten people not only into recovery but medical facilities and some other resources that they need. But it is truly is a team effort. It's not just me here at Hartford. It is those guys that are doing the hard work, and just a thanks to my administration for actually being forward thinking and not outside of the box and not the typical law enforcement way, and looking into this as a community policing outreach program and trying to help people.
Outstanding, man. Well, thank you so
No,
much.
you're welcome.
And thank you to the
Definitely
entire
appreciate it.
Hartford Police Department. I want to say real quick, as a person who's in recovery himself, this gentleman has rescued me more than once. And to be able to come here now in the function that I'm in the role that I'm playing, both in the recovery world and the recovery field, as well as the gala here, I can't tell you how honored it is for me to come back here sober.
Thank you.
A law productive citizen.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
How cool is that, huh? Could you tell I was nervous? Well, if you couldn't tell, man, I was ready to poop my pants, and I'll tell you why. You saw me mention and thank him for rescuing me. Well, obviously that's a nice way of putting it, right? And in fact, that's an officer who has arrested me multiple times. And for me to be able to go back to that police station and shake that man's hand and present to him and speak to him more like a community member and a productive member of my society, my community, was just overwhelming, but in a really good way. It's such a good feeling to be able to do that and present an award to a man who deserves it, for the work that he does and for the attitude of that department. Hartford Police Department has come a long way in their attitude towards people like myself who suffer from substance use disorder and the criminogenic behavior that surrounds it. They understand now. They get it. And perhaps I had something to do with that. I don't know. But, it was really a pleasant experience for me. Much like doing this work, working with law enforcement on a regular basis, working with Department of Children and Families, working with Department of Corrections, working with all of my colleagues at Turning Point and the community justice centers is truly an honor on a daily basis for me. And one of my biggest mentors who have taught me much about the work that I do today, who saw in me potential I didn't see in myself. And you may have heard me say this once before, I was compelled to do this work. This isn't something I wanted to do. I wanted to go get rich, man. I wanted to, I was like, yeah, I'm sober. I'm going to go buy businesses and just be wealthy. And really that was my driver, because prior to, I really had no purpose. My higher power compelled me to do this work. I'm not in it for the money, obviously, because there's not a lot of money to be made in this field, as all of you can agree, right? We do this because we're committed and we're dedicated to our communities, and we want to save lives. And Michael Johnson has taught me that. Mike, you've been a mentor, you've been my friend, you've been my father, you've been my brother, all the above. I know, and I've pushed the envelopes. Trust me, I'm not that easy to manage, right? And he's patient with me and he's gentle with me, and I'm so honored to call him my boss. Michael Johnson, would you please come up here and give a little bit of your truth? Do you want? He's going to confirm that I'm difficult to manage, all right?
I will confirm that, yes, that's for sure. But he's manageable, though. I'm glad to see all of you here tonight. This is the second one. This is great, and we're excited to have this take place. One of the things, the journey for me, I'm a person in long-term recovery, and it has a lot of ups and downs, and we go through a lot of things, you know, and it's difficult sometimes, and sometimes it's wonderful. You know, most of you know that we've had some difficult times in this last week. We've had some losses, and you know, and in my position, and I'll say for Larry in his position, we're people who feel responsible for the people we work with, and you know, as we all do, we want to fix everyone. We know we can't do that, but one of the things that I feel like, you know, is it working? You know, part of me goes, well, we keep doing this stuff, you know, and we don't know. It's like, and then something happens, and you know, and I'm standing here, and it's like, we didn't fail because look at all of you. We're all here because people cared, you know, and it's amazing to watch. It's amazing to watch people grow. Composure. But, like I said, it's been a tough week. But recovery's possible, you know, and we always talk about, you know, the journey's going to be difficult, and it is not, and it's never easy. But we have each other. Stay connected, stay friendly, find recovery, find resources. It's out there. We can't do it for you, but we can help you with anything you need. And if you have the willingness to change, you can change. Because look at everybody here, you know. And if I can change, and if some of you could change, believe me, we know it can happen. And that's the miracle. When that miracle happens, stay around long enough for that miracle to happen. They talk about that in the program, and it's like, wait for the miracle to happen. And how do you know when that happens? When you're sitting in one of these things, you know, or when your life changes, and you know when it happens. When it happens, you'll know it. You just know. It's like something clicked. It's different. Things are different today. So with that, I just want to say thank you to all of you for being here tonight. And, you know, don't ever give up. If you need a helping hand, just reach out, okay? And this is a great opportunity to get to know people, get the word out to other people, you know, and I'm proud to be part of all of this and part of each and every one of your lives. So thank you.
Thank you, Michael. He thinks I grew a couple inches in the last couple seconds here. So you saw my boss get a little bit emotional, and it's been emotional for our entire organization. He mentioned briefly that we had lost a member of our residential transitional living, and it has weighed heavy on the entire organization. But this is a gala. However, before we get into the full celebration, let's take a moment. Let's take a moment and think about the lives that have been lost. The names on the screen are some names of those of us that have passed because of substance use disorder that are in our inner circle of people. This is a small list. This is a small list compared to all the people that have passed from this disease. And I want to honor all of them. For those of us that have been fortunate enough to find recovery, we think about our friends and family members that have deceased from this disease all the time. And this is why we do the work, because it is preventable. It does not have to happen. It is treatable. And one of the biggest barriers of people who have this disease getting treatment is the stigma that exists because of it. It's very, we come and ask for help at a point where we're carrying so much shame and so much guilt that we have to hit rock bottom in order to get that help. We're trying to change that, right? We're trying to make it so that people don't have to hit such a high bottom, such a low bottom. They don't have to hit rock bottom to find some treatment. We need your help. We need all the help of all of you out there, especially you individuals that do not have this disease. Because with your empathy and your understanding, the stigma will go away, right? If we stop looking at people who have this disease in such a negative fashion, and we stop ostracizing them, and we stop enabling them as well, then less people will be dying from it. So with that, we know that they didn't pass for no reason. And we know that the resilience of those of us that are made into recovery can help further this cause. So now let's celebrate life with some music, with some food and beverages. And our next musical performance will be by Dan DeWalt, who's going to just kill it on the piano. Give a round of applause for Dan.
I was planning to start with a boogie woogie, but in view of what I changed my mind to start with something different.
Dan DeWalt, everybody. Thank you so much, Dan. So about 3 years ago, Michael and a couple other colleagues at Turning Point went to Massachusetts to take part in a law enforcement convention to see how we can begin bridging the gap between law enforcement and the recovery community, particularly those who are still active. And that was the start of what was then called the Springfield Supportive Outreach Project. And now it's called, because of it expanded quite a bit, to the Supportive Outreach Project. And what that is basically is overdose outreach. When a person has an overdose, the EMS or law enforcement is usually called, and then they send in a referral to us, recovery experts, to hopefully go engage that person within 72 hours of the incident. We are showing some success. So much success that is no longer just in Springfield, right? It is now in multiple communities. Windsor, Wethersfield, Chester, Ludlow, and Bellows Falls, and soon to be part of the Vermont State Police. They also hopefully will be engaging at some point soon. This has also been a huge thing. Talk about bridging the gap with law enforcement, but also diminishing the stigma that's associated with substance use disorder. Because now we're being forced, by way of the program, to train and work with individuals that otherwise didn't understand the disease. And the results behind the scenes so far are phenomenal. And hopefully, soon, we'll be showing significant success in engaging with people who are actively using opioids in particular, and be able to diminish some of the overdoses that are happening in our community. It's been devastating, but the success of this program is very, very hopeful. And I, for one, am really honored to be able to work side by side with individuals in law enforcement and communicate with them on a daily basis to try to curb this epidemic. One person in particular, the Chief of Windsor, Chief Jennifer Frank. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. She's here with us tonight. You might not recognize her, and you'll know why in a couple seconds, but please, Jennifer, Chief Frank, come on up.
Having served for almost 2 decades in law enforcement, I've had the opportunity to work with many individuals through a variety of different walks of life. And throughout my policing career, I've demonstrated a strong commitment to the belief that it is service through relationships. This guiding philosophy has served our communities well, as this trust between law enforcement and the people we serve and protect is healthy and crucial to a positive community. I've been tasked this evening with something kind of unique. I have the opportunity to specifically speak to the perspective of law enforcement and to the role our career field plays in contributing to the diminishment of the epidemic of substance use disorders. It is a testament to these collaborative efforts that a representative of law enforcement was even invited to speak here today. With that said, it's important to acknowledge something right out the gate. We understand that the relationship between law enforcement and those individuals struggling with substance use disorder has not always been that which it is today. And even with these vast improvements, we will have much more to work through together as we collaboratively strive to serve all of our community in a joint effort to end substance misuse and effectively help individuals suffering from substance use disorder while combating the harmful impacts which so often accompany this disease. Over the years, law enforcement has worked collaboratively with many other agencies to implement a variety of programs aimed at supporting the recovery movement and raising awareness concerns around substance misuse. Some of these improvement efforts include drug disposal efforts of unwanted prescriptions through drug take-back days, drop boxes at police stations, and in-home pickup services. Other programs are more focused on prevention measures and early redirection, while others still have more specifically addressed life-saving efforts to include equipping officers with naloxone that can be rapidly deployed as needed. Although these programs have been very helpful, research has shown that the most effective strategies for addressing substance use are collaborative programs that involve a multitude of partners. Law enforcement is excited to be a part of this collaborative effort to reduce drug overdoses and save lives by working with our local health services and recovery centers to share data, revise intervention strategies so that we can continue to help to reduce fatal and non-fatal overdoses. Programs such as the Outreach After Overdose program have allowed law enforcement to be a part of the solution, a resource for helping those who may be seeking assistance with making safer and healthier choices. As those charged with serving and protecting our communities, we in law enforcement have often been thrust into a conflicting role of emergency response, public safety, and community caretaking, as we balance trying to prevent overdose fatalities, provide assistance for those seeking recovery, and enforce laws against illegal sales of things such as opioids and other substances. The multi-agency and cross-disciplinary collaborative efforts of the Outreach Through Overdose program reduce those challenges by allowing law enforcement to focus on what we really want to be doing, helping and serving those in need during their time of crisis by connecting them with resources who can provide counseling, peer support, and recovery coaches, to name a few. I, like many of my colleagues, recognize the simple nature of my career field and the uniform I wear can sometimes have an unintended destabilizing effect for those who are struggling with misuse. This program allows us to signal that we are here to help, that we have a genuine care and concern for those we are interacting with, and allows us to start the conversation by providing a resource for them to reach out to when they are ready to begin the path towards recovery. As I look out into this room, I see at least one or two who unfortunately I had the opportunity to be present during some of their more difficult moments. I am thankful for them allowing me to be a part of their recovery process, for educating my colleagues and I by sharing their stories so that we might better understand the challenges they face, the stigmas they felt, and the negative biases that had previously accompanied the responses they received. Through the Outreach Through Overdose program, we've been able to focus on prevention, harm reduction, and recovery. Together, we have collaborated to increase understanding, effectiveness, and community engagement that supports the value of protection while promoting the dignity of all. The net of this program has provided assistance not only to those working through substance use disorder, but also to their friends and family as part of that very important outreach component of this collaborative effort. I want to take this moment, though, to note that it is through their strength that we learn their story, that we better understand the multiple roots of addiction, so that we can help to address the chronic risk factors and reach out to the vulnerable members of our community. As a representative of law enforcement, I want to take this opportunity to make it very clear and to remind those who are working through substance use disorders that you are not alone. We care about you and for you. Your life, like every life, has value, even if you don't see it at the moment when you're interacting with us when we are called to respond. Your story has value, your successes, and even your failures have value. We will continue to work with you, alongside you, and stand behind you as you work to recognize, respond, and prevent overdoses in our communities. Thank you to those who have allowed us to be a part of your recovery efforts, and to those who invited us here today to be a part of this phenomenal celebration, as we strive to obtain a common understanding and continue to encourage substance use recovery efforts within our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Frank. Thank you so much. And how wonderful is it to hear from a chief representing a police department talking about SUD as a medical model, as a disease, recognizing it as such, and giving credit to those of us that have overcome the disease and a real willingness to want to help those who are still active. Thank you so much for all that you do. The Windsor community has been phenomenal in collaborating with us here in Springfield, you know, you're gonna hear from others from that community. But for right now, let's bring up Zach LaBelle, another one of my colleagues, who is going to present one of the awards for tonight. Check out his sneakers, man. No joke.
All right. I hate microphones. So I have the honor, everyone said honor and humble to, so I was trying to think of something else, but I'm honored to give this award to my neighbor and, you know, someone I look up to and got to work really closely with during Rise for Recovery. And, you know, she was there to answer the phone very late at night and send me out very, very early in the morning to go pick up clients. And so we, you know, got to work very closely together and got to know each other very well. And I'm very honored to give this to Melinda. Thank you so much. Short and sweet.
This means a lot. Like, I'm nervous, I told Zach. Peer Support Award. I'm actually shocked to be nominated, so that's amazing. And I love all of you and everyone that we work with. And it's been a rough week, so I've been anxious anyway, but I'm a little anxious on stage. So, but I appreciate all of you and working with you guys and the community. It's the best thing that I've ever done in my life, so that's all I can really say. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you, Melinda.
Congratulations, Melinda. You deserve it. She was given that award for her peer support strengths, and she is very strong in that particular part of what we do, which is really important. That's the direct service work. That's actually working with people who are struggling in early recovery or trying to attain recovery. And you know, we're seeing all the time how valuable peer-to-peer work is, and you're a power of example, Melinda. Thank you. So I'm not checking my phone. I'm actually checking the program. Shame on me. What a year this has been, right? We're still struggling through the fallout from the bigger pandemic, right? COVID-19 and the various strains and variants that it has. Even in this community here, you know, we're having clusters and we're having breakthrough cases, and we're still really struggling with this disease, with that disease. And yet, at the same time, with substance use disorder, connection is the opposite of addiction, right? So that connection is so vital. So this past year has been extremely, you know, emotional and tough for that purpose alone. You know, when the stay-at-home order was effective, and most of us were staying at home, doing everything through Zoom and through phone calls. Do you remember that first couple months? Trying to figure out how to use Zoom. I was like, Zoom? I remember like Zoom, zoomy when I was a kid, you're watching TV, but that's about it, right? It was a fiasco, and it was difficult. But all of you guys, you did it, man. You came together, and we overcame that block of connection, that inability to connect. We overcame as a community. All of you that work in this field, DCF, DOC, the recovery field, at the hospital, especially the emergency rooms, we still managed to make that connection, and I think we still saved a lot of lives. Unfortunately, we have a long way to go with that, but we did it. And it's really a testament to how strong we are as a community. When we decide we're going to do something, we do it. We get it done. And when we do it together, we get it done proficiently and in a way that has longevity. And that's what we need. That's what we need to continue with. And despite how depressing and how oppressive the COVID pandemic has been, we continue to get out there. You know, we put our masks on, we're being prudent, we're keeping our hands clean, all of the stuff that we've been told to do, but yet we're out there and we're doing the work. And most of you are on the ground floor. You know, most of you are on the front lines. And you're just such an inspiration to me on a daily basis, and you all teach me something new every moment of every day. And we continue to battle this disease and diminish the stigma that's associated with it. And hopefully that'll continue. But I tell you, it's been a tough year, has it not? Staying at home and, you know, not being able to really, and still, you know, not really being able to travel and see our loved ones is really, and people who are out there who have the addiction of alcoholism or the addiction to a drug, it's especially tough. So please remember that and empathize, please. And family members, you know, you guys aren't given enough credit. Family members who don't have this disease, you go through so much pain. This is a family disease, right? This is something like when you have an individual in the household that's using drugs or drinking excessively every single day, year after year after year. And, you know, they're having DUIs and they're cracking up the car. They're getting arrested. They're going to jail. They're going into the hospital. You don't understand why they're stealing from your purse when they're generally an honest person. Why they're not coming home for days at a time. They're not bathing, etc. You know, it's so tough on family members. It's so difficult. And it makes no sense at all. All of you can, I'm sure, can identify, right? There's not too many people can be found today far removed from from the disease of addiction. Either you have a family member, a neighbor, friend of a friend, nephew, niece, uncle, aunt, father, mother, children. You have to go through the pains of being incarcerated with them because just because they're the ones in jail doesn't mean that they're alone with that pain and suffering, right? Especially those of you that have children, and your children are watching you go through all the different demoralizing stages of this disease. We ask for you guys to empathize, but yet we don't really give you the credit that you deserve as well. I know I, for one, couldn't have done it without my family and their understanding and their empathy when they were telling, JR, why do you keep doing this? JR, what's the matter with you? JR, why are you stealing from mom? JR, what were you thinking when you took the car? JR, you haven't had a license in 10 years and you're in your 40s. They just don't get it. And now people are starting to get it because of the efforts of people like all of you. They are starting to get it. And now I'm getting calls from moms in my office, moms and dads and brothers and sisters saying, JR, what can I do? What can I do? Can you help me understand what should I do to help this individual? You know, and oftentimes I don't have an answer. But one thing is sure, to continue loving them, stand by them and support them, but stop. And it's easy to say, stop enabling, right? What does that mean? What does enabling mean to you? Like when you know they're going to steal from you, so instead you give them $20. Or they refuse to maintain gainful employment because of their disease, and you continue to support them. You give them a roof over their head, and that's okay. And some of that is necessary, and some of that is love. But at some point, you have to make sure that they hold themselves accountable. And it's at that time, 9 times out of 10, when they have nowhere else to turn, that they're forced to look in the mirror and say to themselves, I need help. And that's that open window of opportunity that we love to see. That's that window of opportunity that happened to me and many of my colleagues. So, you know, it's been a really tough year, and I think it's going to get tougher. It's not going to get easier. I think we may see some hard times still ahead of us with this new variant that's encroaching in our communities, but we will survive, and as long as we stick together, we can overcome anything, absolutely anything. And congratulations on all your efforts in making that success. So thank you. So now I get to introduce one of my favorite people, he's our very own Matt Meserve, and he's going to talk a little bit about a program that he's working in that we've collaborated with here at Turning Point that's going to make a huge impact in our community. So, Matt, I don't know where you want to be, whether you want to be at the piano or whether you want to come up here. But Matt Meserve, everybody.
Now I do. Hey, everybody. So I'm in long-term recovery, and Turning Point was an essential piece of that for the meetings and the community. And I've worked in human services for a long time, and in mental health in particular, and now I get to work in recovery. So I work for an organization called Working Fields, and we believe in people. We believe in our inherent ability to grow and to change, and we believe in recovery. And we're kind of on a front line of our own as far as reducing stigma around recovery and employment, and that everybody deserves a second chance, or a fifth chance, or a 10th chance. And really, each person is responsible for deciding which chance is the one that they need. So yeah, we're just, I feel so blessed to have found my way to where I'm at, and to have an office right at Turning Point. It's been an amazing collaboration. And to be able to work with the recovery coaches in this community. So we work with different employers, and we sign contracts with them to try to place people in these good jobs. But we offer support. So everyone who gets placed in a job is assigned a recovery coach. They have my support as account manager in helping to communicate with their employers around, you know, what's coming up and struggles and how to support people through that. And it's, yeah, we've been having a lot of success, and it's a wonderful model, and it started up in South Burlington, and then an office in Rutland, an office in Barrie, and now in Springfield, and now before the end of the year, hopefully we're going to have our office in Manchester, New Hampshire. There's plans to, you know, expand into Windham County as well, and it's just so needed, and it fills this kind of gap between all the amazing services that Vermont can provide. So you know, having been in recovery a long time, I actually figured out, somebody posted how many days they'd been in recovery, and I, you know, keep track of years, but I hadn't thought of days. So tomorrow, I'll be exactly 3,000 days clean and sober, which is pretty cool. So to, you know, I've been in recovery so long, and now, and to, you know, have worked in it in, you know, supporting folks that I've met in my personal journey, but now to be able to help folks on the front line, it's just so special to me. And I was just thinking today, like when I was early in recovery and people would say, I'm a grateful recovering addict, I was like, what? How can you be grateful to be an addict? And today I get it, because I don't think I would have gone on the journey of self-discovery that I have if I didn't battle my way through this. You know, I've learned more about myself in recovery than I think I ever would. So today I am a grateful recovering addict and a grateful account manager with my office at Turning Point. So if you know anyone, you know, that needs help, that places aren't giving them a shot, send them down to Turning Point and have Mass for Matt. And we love to help people, so. And now, yeah, thanks. I'm going to perform a song about recovery, and it's kind of has a theme that, you know, recovery is not a destination, it's a journey. And you never know when someone, like JR said, is going to have that window open, right, where they need help and they're going to hold out their hand. So this is a song by one of my favorite singer-songwriters. His name's Martin Sexton. He's one of us, has been one of us for a long time. I just saw him recently, and his favorite guitar, I'd never noticed it before. He flipped it around, and on the back he had an AA sticker on the back of his guitar. I thought it was pretty awesome. So this is called In the Journey. Met up with an old friend, we had a cup of coffee, talked about everything that was going on. We talked about the old times, we talked about the new times, talked about everything but what was really going on. The 10 long minutes that slowly passed us by, the tension in the air, I could cut it with a knife. Gazing out the window and looking at the menu, finally called my name, and he looked me in the eye. He said, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know where I've been, but it's one long road that I traveled to see you again. I don't know where I'm going, don't know where I've been, but it seems I'm having trouble and I need you, my friend. And then he talked to me. He really talked to me. He said, I've been thinking about all of my drinking and all the good things that I let slip away. First it was the good job, and then it was the woman that I loved. Then it was my car and all material things. And tears welled up in his eyes as he did surrender. He said, I finally lost the only thing I ever really had. He said, I lost myself in the madness. He said, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know where I've been, but it's one long road that I traveled to see you again. He said, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know where I've been, but it seems I'm in some trouble, and I need you, my friend. It's in the journey that we find there's no destination. In the journey that we find our true love. In the journey that we find, I can't do it alone, can't do it alone. I gotta dig down deep inside and lose my pride. We don't know where we're going, we don't know just where we've been, but it's one long road that we travel, and I need you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. That was amazing. And you're right. The lyrics of that song are very apropos to the road in recovery. And so thank you for sharing. So next we're going to have another one of our favorite people, Taser. come up and present the next award. Come on up, Taser.
Oh, you're so kind. Thanks. Thank you so much. Being innovative means doing things differently or doing things that we have never done before. An innovator is someone who has embraced this idea and creates environments in which others are given the tools and resources to challenge the status quo, to push boundaries, and to achieve growth. It is with great pleasure that we present Melanie Sheehan with the Certificate of Excellence of Innovation. Melanie is the Regional Prevention Manager for Mount Scottney Hospital and Health Center and leads the Substance Misuse Work Group. Under her leadership, this group has adopted a best practice approach to their work. As a result, the communication campaign that the group developed is powerful, effective, and will make a big difference to reduce self-stigma as a barrier to treatment. Melanie is very innovative. She is creative, and she advocates for truth and transparency. For this and so much more, we thank you.
I don't really have a speech prepared at all. But to keep it simple, I was thinking about two things. One, I feel silly receiving the award because I am in awe of you in the recovery community. Working with Astrid, we developed the We Are Worthwhile campaign, and I don't know where Melinda went, but anyway, Melinda is a famous person as well as JR, and he's in that campaign. If you haven't checked weareworthwhile.org out yet, you should. But the two things I learned was about self-stigma. I've always heard of stigma. I had never heard of self-stigma. And self-stigma really refers to how a person who has substance use disorder integrates and truly believes those demoralizing reactions they get when they see somebody in the community that doesn't treat them well, that doesn't treat them like a human being. And so that really opened my eyes that, no matter what, no matter where people are, we have got to stop dehumanizing people. And it's not even in the world of substance use disorder. It's in race, it's in gender identity. People are people, and we have to love people for where they are and who they are. So that was the first thing I learned. The second thing, and I think I'm going to forget what it was. Anyway, yeah, I should have made a list. Oh, well, I can't remember. But anyway, thank you. I'm in awe of all of you, and I hope you'll check out the campaign and share the campaign because we really need to spread the word. And it is a direct access to the recovery coaches at Springfield Turning Point. So if somebody needs help, and if they are inspired by the stories that are shared. Oh, I just remembered what it was. Thank you, Lord. This is not work. One thing I've learned, this is a movement. You are all part of a movement of hope. And it's been amazing to read the stories and to understand the stories and that's why I'm in awe of all of you. Sometimes I get up and I'm like, I have to go to work. And I love working with Jill. Jill, I love working with you. But sometimes I feel like my job is work, and I think of all of you, and this is a movement, and it's not an easy movement. And that's another reason I'm in awe of all of you, because it's heartbreaking. But this is a lifestyle. And I actually think it's like the next coolest wellness initiative that everyone's going to want to be a part of. So that's my hope. And thank you for this award. It means a lot. Thanks.
Congratulations, Melanie. Thank you for all the work that you do. Yeah, I have worked with her, and I continue to on multiple programs. In fact, I remember Melanie in the very beginning when we were trying to figure out Zoom. In the very beginning, yeah, of the COVID, of the stay-at-home order. So we're going to take this opportunity to let you all have a bathroom break. Take a break. For those of you that smoke, please do so on the far side of the parking lot or in your car. Please do not leave filters on the ground. Dispose of them properly. We have garbage, I think, dispenses, garbage cans everywhere pretty much. So after you're done, put them out, and then you can dispose of them properly. Go to the bathroom, get a drink, get some more food, and I'll see you in 15 minutes. To take their seats. We're going to be getting going in about a minute here. Grab your drinks, get some more food, and I'll see you in about 60 seconds. All right, we ready for the second half? Yeah. Let's get it. So this time I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague, Julie Samola. She works with me at Parks Place in Bellows Falls, where our Turning Point South office is, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a little while. But go ahead, Julie, take your place, and let's hear your beautiful voice one more time. Let's give her a round of applause.
Feel
Our very own Julie Samola. Beautiful voice. Thank you, Julie. So I mentioned that she works at Parks Place. For those people that may be viewing in or even here that live in the Bellows Falls community or surrounding towns, Rockingham, Chester, Westminster, Saxons River, at Parks Place, that is the main hub for community resources. So if anybody is in need that you know of in those communities, please send them towards Julie, send them there to Parks Place. And what I was telling you about Turning Point South, which I haven't mentioned yet, that's a new expansion that Turning Point Recovery Center of Springfield has made. We now have a drop-in satellite center in Bellows Falls. Huge, huge, huge. That's primarily where you'll find me and a few of my other colleagues, so we can access those who are in need, especially those who traditionally and historically have had transportation issues getting to Springfield. You now can go to the Turning Point South Drop-In Center to get the help that you may or may not need. Where everybody's welcome, drop on in. So one of the collaborators that we have is Mount Ascutney Hospital. And I can't tell you how important that organization, that hospital is to the community, not just in Windsor and Ascutney where they are, but in all of Windsor County and even Windham County. They're just huge contributors to multiple different agencies, and that's also the hub of some of the work that we're doing as collaborators in the community. We really couldn't have made the progress we have made without Mount Ascutney. And the go-to person for Mount Ascutney Hospital is Jill Lord, who is just a fantastic, phenomenal contributor to diminishing stigma for substance use disorder, as well as all the peripheral issues that surround it, helping family members who are struggling with parents who may be incarcerated, who may be in rehab, or even on the streets suffering from this disease, as well as making those connections, bridging the gap, not only for people who are in need of maintenance drugs, but everything from food to housing to, they cover the whole gamut. We really couldn't do what we do without them. Jill, please come on up. Another mentor of mine, a woman who has taught me so much. It's such a privilege to work with you, Jill. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Well, I have to say, the privilege is mine. The privilege is mine. I've learned so much. I think humble is the theme for tonight. I am humbled and grateful for the opportunity to talk to everybody tonight. I have some words that I wrote down just because I wanted to be organized and stay within my 5 minutes. And so, I have to tell you, when I think of recovery, it's like, I said, how am I going to talk about it? Because it's like, it's like the thing that is the most precious thing that I can think of. So I go and I look in Webster, and they say recovery is the act of or a process of becoming healthy. And then to break it down, I first thought of, okay, the act. Well, everybody in recovery's made a decision, usually after some soul-searching, gut-wrenching torment from broken hearts, bodies, and spirits. This decision has taken the act of courage, of hope, of faith, and to get into the recovery process of opening a new door to a new life, to new possibilities. And I have to look around and say, I don't know everyone here, but I know that everyone here's been on a journey. And that is a journey, and the courage and the decision to take an act. So the process of everyone's journey is a little different. Today we're here to celebrate that process and to celebrate recovery. And I do. I'm like old, okay, so I have gray hair. And I know it, you know, and it's okay, and I celebrate that. But I have to say, I'm like an unabashed lover of AA. I just believe in the steps and the process that if everybody in the world followed those steps, those process, that tradition, the world would be a better place. I have to honor the people in this room that have acted as sponsors. When I think about recovery, I think of people that walk the journey. I think about the recovery coaches. I think about the sponsors. And I just want to say, for everybody here that has been a sponsor, that is a sponsor, that is a recovery coach, you're heroes. You're my heroes. I'm not ashamed to say that. I say that with pride. You walk the journey with folks. I just saw, I think, Zach say he was going to the hospital. I don't know if he got a call, but you know, the recovery coaches that are there 24/7, that just stand to and stand by. You make a difference. You make a pivotal difference in people's life. I have to talk about, I've been given the microphone, which I'm not using, but I have to talk about the Turning Point Center. Oh, put it up. Michael said, put it up. Okay. I have the utmost respect for Turning Point, and I've been educated, I've been inspired, and I've been motivated by our partnership. I have to say the purity of compassion, earnest support, and 24-hour commitment is outstanding. So thank you, each of you. I could talk about each of you individually for hours. I just have a couple of key people I just want to call out. Michael, for your leadership. You're a pioneer. You're grounded. Astrid, when I think of her, I think of wise, compassionate, and impactful. JR, your truth, and when I think of you, I do think of that purity of compassion because you have that in your eyes and in your heart. You're committed and you're empathetic. Larry, you are just long-standing, holding the fort, and I just really appreciate that. Tessa, you bring just such energy and truth and empathy to working with young people, and again, I'm inspired. So, thank you, Melinda. Committed and courageous. Courageous. Yeah. So thank you, Zach. He's a joy, right? He's energetic. He's positive. He's hopeful. He's diving right in, making a difference. And there's so many. I wish I could say everybody's name here. I don't know all of you, but I know you're committed, and I know you're making a difference. And I had the opportunity, so I just had to say thank you. I do think that the We Are Worthwhile. Has everybody seen that website? If you haven't, I really would echo what Melanie said, and you should go because the words are amazing. And I just want to read a couple of quotes. It isn't about telling my story that really changed the way I work with people or the topic of substance use. It's more about the awareness that self-stigma is something that needs to be addressed and spoken of so that people can become more aware that it exists and it needs to change. I really want to focus on solutions. A lot of people go on about their hardships, but that's helped me focus on the opposite of that. I feel like solutions are way more helpful to people. And being able to relate to what I have as a disease, not a moral failure. It doesn't identify me or do I think any longer that I'm a loser for having it. So I'm going to get personal right now. I'm the director of community health at Mount Ascutney Hospital, and we couldn't have achieved the impact that we have without you. I'm inspired, enriched, and supported by our partnership. I'm grateful for what we've done together, And I think it's really important that we keep that work going. We have a lot more to do. I'm also a mom. I have 3 sons and a daughter. And I have walked the addiction journey with 2 of my sons who I'm thankful are in recovery right now. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Jake. The act of becoming healthy. And all of us in this room and virtually are joined together in the treasure of recovery. And so I thank God for it, and I thank God for you. Thank you.
Okay, dry your eyes now. Our amazing Jill Lord. Thank you so much, Jill. She doesn't even scratch the surface with how much she affects our community and has been a part of it and such an influence. And your sons are very fortunate to have you as a mom. Absolutely. You know, twice tonight, self-stigma has been mentioned. And I've talked a lot about the stigma of the community and how we need that to diminish so that you can understand how people with substance use disorder are really, what modus operandi they're really in, right? So the self-stigma that's been referred to, which I haven't mentioned, is the fact that when we're out there and when we're active, those of us who have this disease, we are so ashamed of ourselves. The guilt that we carry for the conduct with which we manifest ourselves, and you know, stealing from our moms, breaking into people's houses, committing crimes. It's not something that we want to do. It's not something that we're happy with. It's something that we carry a lot of shame about. And so that self-stigma, when we come into this program of recovery, we hate ourselves. We do think of ourselves as losers. We don't understand that we're sick people. And that's what we need you for. We need you to spread that. To spread that. And it's the epitome of love, right? It's the epitome of love. Thank you so much. And with that, our next award will be handed out. Come on, Donnie. Another one of our favorite people, Donnie. Donnie Burgoyne is I never Burgoyne. He's going to hand the next award.
All right, check 1, 2. I want to present an award for Systematic Improvement Award to Dr. Joseph Paris from Manchester, Marlin Scotney Hospital and Healthcare Center. Dr. Paris is a steadfast person that is helping the community implement a myriad of programs, serving and working with community partners. And one of them programs is emergency room coaching, and that program is a program that someone comes in the emergency room with a substance use disorder problem, getting them in the emergency room. We have a team of recovery coaches, emergency room recovery coaches that goes in to see them. And it's like, when we go in to see them, it's like a farmer planting a seed, you know, and our seed is hope. And we plant that seed to the best of our ability and follow up with the patient 10 days after. But when a farmer plants the seeds, most of the seeds sprout and flourish. And the hard reality is a lot of seeds we try to plant don't necessarily flourish, and a lot of them perish. And But we never give up hope on any of those individuals. They come back in the emergency room again, we send another emergency room recovery coach in to see him again. And we're always there willing to do what it takes to help that person find recovery. And we never know when that seed's going to flourish. And as one seed grows and comes to a mature plant, you know, the reality of recovery is possible for any person that's willing to seek it, you know, is ready to seek it. And that seed's got to be ready to grow, you know. We can only throw a little fertilizer on it and you know, start it on its way. But the services that emergency room recovery coaches do is sometimes the first connection someone has with someone in recovery. And so with that, I'd like to present this award to Dr. Joseph Paris. Jill Lord's going to come up and accept it. Thank you.
Thanks, Donnie.
There's a certificate.
Thank you so much. I don't know if you remember me, but we had a program last year. We were driving people from Windsor area to the warming shelter in Springfield, and here's one of the heroes here. That was part of that effort, and I don't think we've met before, but I'm glad to finally meet you. He was always ready. I want to thank you on behalf of Dr. Paris. I am very proud to call him my boss. He really does stand up for substance use disorder. He does stand into the community. He's able to take those tough stands and buck the system in times when I need it. I'll just say, I need your help, and he's there. And so he really does. I just want to thank him for what he's doing for our communities and say on his behalf, thank you. He had to be with his son tonight. There was an event at his son's college, so we couldn't be here today. But I will bring this and make a big deal of it with him. And so thank you very much. And thanks, Donnie.
Thank you, Donnie. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Dr. Paris. Congratulations. If you're out there watching, nice job. And I got to tell you, right, doctors have always been leaders in our community because of what they do. They save our lives every day. They used to get pissed at us, right? They didn't have that. They didn't understand that this was a medical disease. And they would get so angry because we were abusing ourselves so much. And that was a demographic that we had a hard time finding buy-in for a long time. Now, they're our partners and allies in this effort. They get it. And they're proven to be leaders, and Mount Ascutney is certainly one of them. So thank you, Jill. And please pass out our gratitude to Dr. Paris. So I'm so pleased to be able to say Matt Meserve is going to come up and do another number.
So I thought I'd save this one for my second number because this song has always meant hope to me and comforted me. And it's interesting, we're talking about moms. So I'm going to do Let It Be. And when Paul talks about Mother Mary in this song, a lot of people assume it's the Virgin Mary, but it's actually his mom's name. And she had passed away, and he wrote the song. He had a dream that she visited him. So here's Let It Be. And feel free to sing along, anyone. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. In my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Speaking words of wisdom, let it be. When the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. Though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. When the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. Wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Thank you.
So I'm sure you all can get autographs from our musicians after the show. They won't mind. So here's a moment we've all been waiting for, our greatest award of the night, Lifetime Achievement Award. And Larry Beach is going to be presenting that award, so please come on up, Larry. I'll give it to you. I'll hand it up to you. I'll hand it up to you. Hey, everybody.
Well, it's really an honor and a privilege to be able to give this award tonight. Last year I had an award given to me by the same individual, and this guy has really been he's been a big part of my life. I've watched him over the years since he became director of the Turning Point, and way beyond. We go way back, like about 55 years, I think. I grew up in a project, and he grew up on the outskirts of that project, about 200 yards away. And, we crossed paths a lot of times through life as teenagers and young adults, and he had moved out of state, and we reunited at a Green Mountain. We were in the Green Mountain program, and the Green Mountain program was I don't know if anybody remembers Canterbury Council, Canterbury Farm. Well, it was a farmhouse in North Springfield, and it was for SUD individuals, people with substance use disorder, and I was one of them. Mike was one of them. He was. We designed coffee cups. We wallpapered walls. We had a grand old time there, and needless to say, we both on a couple different occasions since then, crashed and burned. And a little over a dozen years ago, I became a recovery coach, started running a transition house, the Turning Point Transition. And wasn't too long after that, Michael was coming with a bunch of kids from Park Street School and bringing a bunch of kids down every day and playing pool and having, playing games with them and stuff and taking them fishing and and we kind of bonded a relationship. We were both in a 12-step program, and then he became director of the Turning Point. And since that time, we've really grown a close bond. Yeah, I've watched what he does. His compassion for recovery is second to none. The programs that we have, I've watched him get off the ground and up and running. When he came to the Turning Point, there was 3 of us, and now there's like 20 of us plus. So, and I've watched it grow, and the biggest share of that is because of Michael. He had a vision, and he kept fighting, just biting away, chomping at the bit at it, and it's amazing. I get to go over in the morning. I'm there every day, so I go over and I have coffee with him and shoot the breeze about what the day's agenda is going to be, and he is really he's helped me in my recovery immensely. He's helped me with joys. He's helped me with a lot of sorrows. I mean, I've lost family members to this SUD, and he's helped me through that. He's been a big part of my losses and my gains, and I can't think of another person that is more deserving of this award than Michael Johnson, and I feel humble and really grateful to be able to give this award to you tonight, Mike. Come on up and get it.
And my best friend, okay? I just want to let you know. And yeah, we've been through a lot,
Absolutely.
and this will be 9 years I've been there, and it's been an amazing journey. And I would have never thought in my life this is what I'd be doing for work, And all I know is I did the next right thing and went day to day, and God opened a different door. He opened up the school program. Oh, first I got fired from HCRS because I got a DUI, and rightly so. And I was angry and bitter. The next thing that happened is I got a job working with kids in the school. And then, over time, it's like I kept doing the next right thing, and one door would open and the next door would open. If you keep on the path, I don't know where I'm going, but I know that it's the right direction. So, just keep doing the next right thing. And, you never know where you're going to end up, but, at least you're there sober, and I have a good life today. I got to thank my wife, Kathy, because without her and her support over all these years, my goodness.
You're done.
and support, 31 years of putting up with me, and I'm grateful for each and every one of them, and she's been my rock. I needed her this week, and she was there, and it's, it takes all of us, and takes each one of us to stand next to each other together to make recovery happen, and, like I keep saying, just keep trying, and I couldn't be happier, and I'm grateful for the award, but I couldn't do it without every single one of you that work for me and all those people that come to our center. That's why I do what I do, and that has nothing to do with me. It has to do with all of us. It has to do with recovery. So, thank you. There you go.
Oh, yeah. He wanted to drop it. Boom. when we were tallying up the nominations and discovered that Mike had achieved that award, we were so ecstatic because he deserves it. He supports us in ways I can't even begin to describe, certainly not in 30 seconds up here on the stage. He's a family member to all of us. He's a mentor to all of us. He's sometimes a parent to all of us. And we love him. We love you, Mike. So almost over, not quite though. Before we have a couple more performances for you to enjoy, and I just want to introduce him. His name is John Ungerleider. He's the director for the Greater Falls Community Justice Center that is located in Bellows Falls. He is my partner in a class that I teach, Parenting with Respect for Dads. I never thought in a million years that I would be teaching a parenting class. It's been a wonderful experience to work with John. So he's about to jam out a couple of songs, and let's lean back and enjoy.
Thank you, JR. How about JR? Hand for JR. I mean, he is a natural. He should be a TV star. Just seeing him on stage, I think it's where he belongs. And I love to hear him talk. And how about the singers, Julie and Matt? This is a song that I wrote together with the guys, and I do the domestic violence program in Brattleboro, and wrote this song together with guys in the program last year. Well, before we were in COVID, I guess it's a little longer. And I mean, but it's similar. It's about feelings and about identity and about, impulses or things that get us in trouble and what we can do with them. Let's go ahead. This feeling will pass. It will change, may get stronger, go away, come back again. This feeling doesn't make me a woman or a man. I can't let myself feel it. I still be who I am. My heart starts to race, head begins to burn. My fist is firm, I'm not feeling any concern. Have to find some direction, I need a place to turn. Gonna take a walk around, I have so much to learn. This feeling will pass, it will change, may get stronger, go away, come back again. This feeling doesn't make me a woman or a man. I can't let myself feel it. I still be who I am. Red in the face, feeling like a clown, throw somebody down and head out of town. Or could just chill and light up a pound. I gotta take the time to breathe, or take a walk around. This feeling will pass, it will change, may get stronger, go away, come back again. This feeling doesn't make me who I am. Gotta let myself feel it. Ms. Les, this next one, I just doing a little sing-along. I feel a little far away from people here, but if you could repeat after me. It's a little more fun. Vermont, 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 Vermont. Vermont, 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 Vermont. Vermont, Vermont, Vermont. You got it. Vermont, 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 Vermont. Vermont, 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 Vermont. Something about this floating around makes me wanna touch the ground. Here we go. Vermont, 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 Vermont. Vermont, 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 Vermont. You don't watch which way the river's flowing. You're gonna have to do some rowing. You do your part now. Vermont, Vermont, so wild and free. Keep doing Vermont, Vermont. Vermont, Vermont's the place to be. Something about these mountains and trees help us find the meaning of peace. Okay, one more time. Vermont, 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 Vermont. Vermont, 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 Vermont. And maybe next year we'll get Michael up here on the drums. Thanks, Pierre.
Thank you, John. What an awesome show, man. This has been so much fun. Thank you, everyone who has contributed. I want to give out a special thank you to Father Pete and St. Mary's Church here that has hosted this show, and I think we made a home here, if I'm not mistaken. So next year, and Elliot, of course, next year we'll be here, and Elliot, I want to give a real special word. He's downstairs right now. He's the one operating the sound. He's operating. There's multiple cameras you probably don't know about. You guys are on TV, in case you didn't know. He's been an amazing help. We couldn't have done it without him. So, Elliot Thompson, thank you so much. All of the organizations that support us and help us, we can't do it without you. And last but certainly not least, all of you in the communities of Windsor and Windham County, thank you so much for your support. Please keep tuning in. We learn more about this disorder every day, and we learn more on how to combat it every day. Stay close, stay tight. We need you. And so with that, I'd like to invite all of my Turning Point family up to the stage. Come on up, everybody. In the kitchen, come on, Zach. Julie, everybody, come on up. This is a portion of our family. You know, we weren't kidding when I said there's like, well, who said it? I think Larry Beach said that there's like 20 of us now. There really is, and we're growing, and hopefully we will continue to grow. So give everybody up here a round of applause, man. This can't happen without these folks. And all of you beautiful folks, I love you. You're my family. Let's take a bow. Come on. Zach, come on up, man. Come on. He's trying to hide. Ain't happening. Bueno, come on up. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be part of this family. You guys are amazing. I love you all. Take another bow. Turning Point Recovery Center of Springfield, TP South of Bellows Falls. We will see you next year.